Dylan Chatterton. From my understanding, the Church of Scientology has tax exemption in the United States, and removing it would either take the church down completely or at least knock it down a few notches. Does the church have tax exemption in any other country besides the U.S.? If so, where and when/how was it granted? If tax exemption is such a huge deal, but it only applies to the United States, it begs the question, how important are the rest of the countries in the world as it relates to Scientology? What is the quote-unquote market share of Scientology in the U.S. by members/gross income compared to other countries, and would it matter if they were a non-factor completely? All right, Dylan, thank you for this question. You're definitely asking me for information I don't have, because I don't have any of Scientology statistical information at this point to do some kind of a gross income analysis by country. That's just that they're just not transparent with that information at all, and I didn't have that level of granularity of knowledge of that sort of thing when I was a Scientologist. But I did look some stuff up, and I do have a few things to say in answer to the question that I thought you might want to know. So first off, the church definitely has the United States and tax exemption in the U.S. as its top priority. The United States is the mother country, the home country of Scientology, always will be as far as I can tell. And so it's very much an American religion, I guess you could say. And I looked up, there's actually a Wikipedia page that has the tax exempt status and religious status of Scientology around the world. And so what I did is I summarized that data for you so I can answer this question. And here is where Scientology is, well, it's kind of interesting when you break it down, because there are 4 countries where Scientology is officially on the rolls as a cult or sect. And those countries are Argentina, Chile, France, and Israel. Now, Scientology is officially recognized as a religion or has religious status in Australia, Costa Rica, Croatia, India, Italy, Kyrgyzstan, North Macedonia, Mexico, Nicaragua, the Philippines, Portugal, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, Taiwan, and the United Kingdom, kind of. They can give marriages, they can do marriage ceremonies in the UK, for example, but they don't have tax exemption there. And all those countries I listed, where it's recognized as a religion, that doesn't necessarily mean that they have tax exemption. The only countries I could absolutely confirm where Scientology does have tax exemption are Australia, India, in some parts of India, and in the United States. So, okay, so then you asked about income and stuff. The hows and the wheres and the when and all that of how those statuses exist is on the Wikipedia page. So I put the link to that in the show notes here for you today. Now, as far as how important is it to the rest of these countries? Well, it is important. Scientology wants to be a fully recognized and validated religion with tax exemption in every country in the world. But as you can see, they have not had an easy time with that, and with good reason. Scientology is not a legit religion. It does not pass any public benefits test, and it should not have tax exemption. And that's my absolute final opinion on that matter. It's an abusive, high control, authoritarian organization, and it's actively conning and deceiving its members. So they should not have any tax exemption at all. But that doesn't change them from wanting it everywhere in the world, and they do pursue that. I think they pursue it mostly in the areas where they have the most influence. So the United States first, the United Kingdom next, and then Taiwan is quite big right now. So those are the places, and of course Australia, where they have tax exemption. And India is a place that they have wanted to expand into, but really Scientology is tiny. There's really nothing going on in India of any real notice. As far as the market share of Scientology in the U.S. by members compared to other countries, I mean, By far, here's what I can say. I can't give you actual numbers, but what I can tell you is that by orders of magnitude, the income generated in the United States for Scientology far exceeds every other place in the world all put together. Because in the United States is where you have the two most concentrated and largest Scientology service facilities in the world, and that is in Los Angeles, at Big Blue, the PAC base, and in Clearwater, Florida. And there are, because those are both places where you have a couple thousand Sea Org members, and you have Scientologists flying in from all over the world to do their services there. And it just so happens, of course, that in Clearwater, that is where Scientology services cost the most money, too. Services at Flag are charged 2 to 3 times more than they are at the city level churches. So you can just count on the fact you're going to be paying more when you go to Flag. Plus, there's accommodations. You have to stay in their hotels and all that kind of stuff. So those are real income drivers for Scientology, is in Clearwater. And that's sort of where everybody has to end up going. So that's why the income in Scientology is always going to be heavily U.S. dependent. And of course, with the tax exemption in the United States, and I guess to a lesser degree in Australia, they use that every year to incentivize people to give money to Scientology, because by giving money, it's a charitable donation, which means you can write it off on your taxes. And this is what Scientologists do. And come December, you always see promotion to the Scientologists about, hey, end of the year, time to get those donations in, get those tax exempt, charitable donations in. So this is definitely a big thing for Scientology.